Hey everyone. Okay, so today I'm going to go over the 8 traits or characteristics that describe the most obvious type of narcissist out there. This is the overt narcissist, also known as the grandiose narcissist. They possess a lot of the most common traits associated with narcissism. You've probably seen a lot of these out of people. They include attention seeking, exaggeration, superficial charm, grandiosity, entitlement, excessive self-importance and manipulation, being condescending to others, as well as putting others down to make themselves appear superior. They tend to lack consideration for others because really all that matters to them is what they think. And they also expect the world to just revolve around them. They overtly or openly portray these characteristics to the world, and they want to be noticed by everyone. They use their charm and manipulation to take advantage of others. So one thing to note about this type of narcissist is that underneath their outward need for praise, they're taking over conversations and their dependence on the admiration of others to make themselves feel good. Underneath all of this, they generally hide deep insecurities and emotional struggles. And as you may have guessed, these tend to stem from childhood trauma of some sort. So here are the 8 signs to look for. And I'll put these down in the description box so that you have them. So number 1, the overt narcissist generally has an inflated sense of importance. They believe that they're exceptional and that they're superior to others. And they don't hide it. It's not like the covert narcissist that hides it or is passive aggressive. These people, the overts, they want everyone to know, and they are put it out there blatantly. This fuels their need to dominate conversations while dismissing others and leaving other people feeling invisible. Because all they really care about is their own opinion. Sometimes it's also that they care about their appearance and their achievements as well. And they do all of this while demanding the respect and recognition from everyone else. Number 2, attention from others is the foundation of the overt narcissist's life. Without this, they just will shrivel up. They use boasting or drama. They even create chaos and conflict, whatever's necessary, to make sure that all the attention is on them. This keeps them feeling superior to others. It keeps all others' eyes on them. It's the attention. It's just everything. Number 3, the overt narcissist does not tend to care about the feelings of others, nor do they even try to understand where other people come from in their thinking and feelings. And they do this because really the only priority to them are their own needs and desires. That's really to them all that really matters. They tend to invalidate and ignore the emotions and feelings of others, which is basically gaslighting. And so in the home setting, if this is a family member or even a loved one, in a romantic situation, this may show up as dismissive or neglectful, leaving others in the family or in the situation feeling unsupported and unimportant. Number 4. So one of the obsessions of the overt narcissist is how they're perceived by others. How other people look at them, because they really crave admiration and they seek constant validation from others. So they need what is called a quote unquote narcissistic supply. This is their life force. This is the attention, the recognition, and or the praise that they get from others that maintains their self-image and their sense of self-worth. They may actually even perform certain acts of kindness or quote unquote kindness what is perceived as kindness to other people. But they're really not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it for praise from other people. They're doing it to look good to other people, in others' eyes. They're not necessarily doing it for the good that normal, non-narcissists would do. Number 5, the overt narcissist will tend to exploit others with no problem for personal gain by manipulating relationships and taking people's time, their resources, money, things like that, or their emotions without offering anything in return. It's a completely one-sided relationship where there is no equal give and take, or it's very lopsided. Sometimes this is really subtle, where the other person or people don't realize what is being done, and it leaves them feeling very used and undervalued. Number 6, as we stated earlier, the overt narcissist generally has deep insecurities and vulnerabilities that they usually will keep, repressed deep down, and they hide this by constantly seeking the approval and the admiration of others. They may appear confident and charismatic on the outside, but they do this to distract other people, and they do it to take away from feeling criticized or, having others realize what their weaknesses or flaws are. They don't want people to see those things. They keep them hidden. So, like I was saying earlier, a lot of these insecurities or vulnerabilities stem from childhood neglect or trauma, unfortunately. And they just haven't been, looked at or talked about. Number 7, overt narcissists often struggle with depression and anxiety. They keep this hidden beneath and between their confidence and their charismatic appearance. They may react defensively or angrily if any of this is pointed out by others. They don't want people to know. By acting this way, it helps preserve their self-image, and it prevents the introspection needed, for them to address the root causes, which is the childhood issues that are affecting their emotional and mental health. So they just want to ignore that and just be the person that they are on the outside. Number 8, overt narcissists do not generally follow other people's boundaries, especially in relationships. They may overstep boundaries that are personal, professional, or social. And they also usually fail to respect the autonomy of others. They may just insert themselves into situations or into conversations where they might not actually be welcome. And they really don't consider the consequences. They don't think, that maybe these two people are having a conversation that don't include you. Their disregard for the needs of others, as well as being self-absorbed, is the reason for this. So now that you are more aware of these 8 traits or characteristics to look for in an overt narcissist, you might be wondering how you can deal with this type of person, because there are a lot of them out there. I'm sure that basically all of us have dealt with this type of person in one situation or another. So setting strong boundaries is crucial. If the person is also, it seems like they're out of control, the best thing to do is to remove yourself from this person's vicinity. Just take yourself away from them. You're not able to reason with someone or have a discussion with someone who's in that kind of mental state. You can also try a strategy of making yourself seem disinterested and keeping your emotions neutral to deny this person their what I said, narcissistic supply, or the engagement that they crave from you. Also, by limiting your eye contact and keeping your tone of voice calm is also important, because they look for a reaction. And by learning to recognize their manipulation tactics, such as using the silent treatment, by guilt tripping or dismissing your feelings or gaslighting to control you. By realizing when these things are happening, it can empower you to respond more effectively. So the key is responding and not reacting. They're looking for you to react. So if you can limit your interactions with this person, I mean, that would be best. You can also try to lean on the people in your support network whenever possible. So some of those are tips that might help you. Yourself and this person might need some professional assistance by getting professional help from, maybe a licensed mental health professional. If, you might need some help dealing with this type of person, working with a life coach such as myself might help with that as well. But in the long run, you might need to find some assistance when dealing with this type of person to keep you emotionally well. But I hope that this helps. I hope this video helps. And I hope that it finds you all to be well. And until next time, please take care.